What's up, everybody? This is Showtime's Fight Forum, where we talk all things fights. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment under. Make sure you follow me on social medias at Papa Showtime, Josh Showtime, whichever one you find, it don't matter. Now, today, we are going into a jam-packed, action-packed Saturday. I don't know if I ever told y'all, October is by far my favorite month of the year, not only because your boy was born, but also because we have football, we normally have fights, we have basketball, man, we even got hockey and freaking baseball, man. We got every sport that you could ever imagine every single weekend, and I'm just ecstatic as always. Now, your boy just turned 30, by the way. You know, I can't believe it, but I'm here. So, yes, joining just to get by. If you didn't, that's obviously a joke. Please don't report me. Now, today, like I said, is a jam-packed, action-packed boxing conversation, okay? We have all the fixing that you could possibly want, guys. What you want? You want heavyweight? We got it. You want lightweight? We got it. You want women's fighting? Guess what? We got that too. And we even got Caleb Plant fighting. Now, I mean, I'm gonna try to stay under what I normally do. I try to do 12 minutes or lower, but this is gonna be hard because there's just so many fights that are happening in one day. Like legit, my Saturday, like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be working, but I work at home luckily, so I'll be able to still watch every single fight. But good gracious, man, this is just too much, but I'm so great. I'm hyped, happy, okay? Now let me just go ahead and break down not break down the fights, but let me tell you about all the fights that we're gonna have to talk about, because once again, all these fights are important. So now we have Robert Helenius versus Deontay Wilder. This is Deontay Wilder's, I ain't gonna say repeat, but this is finally, he's fighting somebody other than Tyson Fury. He has a chance to, I ain't gonna say redeem himself, because those were tough guys. I mean, at the end of the day, Tyson Fury is the best in the world. But it's time for him to honestly move past it, and let's see what he's capable of doing now. At one point, he thought he was retiring, he's coming back. So we'll talk about that in a second. But then we also have the undisputed lightweight belt on the line, which is a rematch. We already seen the fight, but we're gonna see a part 2, and that's Devin Haney versus George Gamboa. And I'm honestly happy that it's happening super quick, because I'll probably explain that in a little bit. But then also we even got Caleb Plant versus Anthony Durrell, which is gonna be a very, very fun fight in my opinion. It's gonna be an interesting matchup, and I can't wait to talk about that. The fight that I'm actually looking forward to the most, and I can't wait to really talk about, is gonna be Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. Now, obviously, this is, on a lower scale as far as attention goes, because, they're not heavyweights. And unfortunately, women's boxing is still growing, so it's nowhere near as important to the casuals as it should be, because this is a big fight. This is a big, big fight. I would say, like, we already saw the Katie Taylor fight, and which was obviously, and then Amanda Serrano fight, which was ridiculous. Now, this to me is it's obviously a couple notches below, but it's still a big freaking fight. And also, side note, because I had to also talk about the fight that's happening under that, which is going to be the Alyssa Baumgardner versus, oh my gosh, Michaela Mayer. I don't know why I just had a brain fart, but Michaela Mayer, who's the world champion at super featherweight. Cannot wait to see that fight as well, because these women like to fight. Okay, so I mean, I guess we could go. I ain't gonna say my hierarchy, but we could just talk about the fights that just come to my mind right away. All right, I'm gonna tell you about what I think of the fight, who I think is gonna win, and we'll go from there. Now, the first fight, and this is, I'm not gonna say the fight that I'm least looking forward to, but it's probably the least important out of the bunch. And it's still an important fight, because all these fights are important. Let me just go ahead and state that right now. And that's gonna be Caleb Plant versus Anthony Durrell. Now, this is gonna be Caleb Plant's first fight since the Canelo fight, which was literally a year ago. And I ain't gonna say it's not really good that you wait a whole year after that. I mean, yeah, you got knocked out, but it wasn't like a gruesome knockout. Like, it wasn't like Deontay Wilder's knockout was bad versus Tyson Fury. That was bad, because he took a beat for like 10 rounds. You didn't really take a beat in that fight, for real. Like, you just got knocked out, you got caught, it happens. But Anthony Durrell is a very game opponent. It's a guy that, honestly, is a good rebound fight after fighting the Canelo to possibly get the Benavidez fight, because who knows if Canelo's fighting Benavidez, or possibly a Charlo fight, or whoever else he wants to have after this fight. Durrell, like I said, he's a tough competitor, really good at fighting on the inside, really good defense, knows how to survive. I think he's been finished, one time? So, I mean, and which was, to Benavidez. In reality, he didn't get knocked out, he just took a bunch of punches. He fought Benavidez, who was a volume puncher who does pack power, and is corner seen enough. So we know when it comes to Caleb Plant, he's a defensive fighter who has really good hands. He likes to call himself Sweet Hands. Very interesting name. However, Very technical, very good footwork. He is tough. I mean, I think they got knocked out by Canelo. There's no shame there. And I mean, he's a very game opponent. Now, let me just go ahead and say this by now. He probably got the iciest shoe game. And his Freddy Krueger shoes that he's wearing this weekend is fuego. Like, I saw them joints, I was like, oh, I'm about to buy these just to wear. Like, I ain't about to wear them to a fight. I want to wear them, period. So, by the way, Sensor Style, swag, get it. And yeah, so how do I see this fight necessarily going? I think it's going to be a very entertaining fight. I do think Darrell is going to beat a walk forward and try to walk him down. But I think the combinations, I think the footwork, I think the head movement is going to complicate it for Darrell. I think he's going to lose in a unanimous decision to Caleb Plant. He'll be able to look impressive and then also call out the bigger names and see if he can get these fights that we all really want him to see. We want to see him in. So that's, like I said, big fight. I'm very excited for it. Now, another fight, like I said, this fight is important because it's for the belts. And the only reason I'm saying that it's on the lower end is because, unfortunately, people don't care as much about women fights just yet. It's still working, but as a total, it's not there yet. And that is going to be Baumgartner versus Mayer. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this might be one of the more fun fights out of all the ones I'm mentioning. So you should watch it, 100%. So Alicia Baumgartner, she lost once. So, I mean, we do have to note that. And she's going to be the shorter fighter. She's 5'6", but she's also the power puncher. She's the one that can knock you out. I believe most of her fights, I want to say, she's 9-1. She's got like 7 knockouts or something like that. Like, it's more than half of her fights are knockouts. And it's pretty good for a person that's her weight class. It's super featherweight. She's not big. She's a very small woman. And she's knocking these girls, getting them out the way. Now, Mayer, she's 5'9". She is a medalist in the Olympics. But here's the thing, when I think Olympic gold medalist or Olympic bronze medalist or whatever it is, I don't only think technique, technical, more so defense. I ain't gonna say necessarily defensive, I think that's disrespectful, but I'm gonna say, like, not a brawler. Because we already know when it comes to the point system in the Olympics, you really have to score points. You don't really want to brawl because at the end of the day, it's gonna be hard for you to win brawling in the Olympics. You gotta be a little bit more technical. Not to say, granted, I'm not saying Mayer's not technical, because she is, but she, when I see her fight, she's very brawlish. Like, she's tough, she walks forward. She will eat punches, but she's gonna fire back punches. She doesn't have power though. So she's a brawler, but she's not gonna really knock you out. That threat is not 100% there. That's not to say she can't hurt you. You're punching, so anybody can be hurt. However, if you look at the results and you see her fights, her fighters aren't. The people she's fighting is not as effective with her punches like when Alicia fights. So these girls, I don't know if the beef is real, but they don't seem to really like each other like that, which always adds to the intensity. We have obviously the black versus white dynamic, which is still always relevant. People want to ignore it like it's not a big deal. However, when you have other cultures and other races fight each other, you take sides, and then it's also just a big deal. Like, it doesn't really matter if you want to believe it or not, but it's also true. So I'm excited because, like I said, you have the brawler. And you have the brawler, but then you also have the person who's a real good technician. She likes to fight with her hands down, really good head movement, and she likes to use her head movement to set up shots. She's really good at countering as well. Now, if we go off quickness, I'm picking Alicia. If we're going off of power, I'm also picking Alicia. However, we talk about toughness. It's not to sit here and say Alicia's not tough. However, when you fight the style that Mayer fights, that means, you have to have a certain level of toughness, because what the hell are you brawling for if you can't take a punch? It seems like that kind of gets her going, and then she's gonna throw combinations, really good combinations. Really, I mean, she doesn't have much head movement. She doesn't really move her head. She just high guards a lot and then eats shots, but she's gonna fire something back at you. So, I mean, I have a hard time picking the winner in this fight, man. Now, I'm going to pick, however, Mayer. I'm gonna pick Mikaela Mayer just because I like her toughness and I like her grit. And I do think that is gonna overwhelm her. And I think that her moving forward and Baumgartner moving back, I don't think she's gonna knock her out. So I do think that it's gonna cause complications. She's gonna end up losing more rounds because of the aggression and the combinations that will come from Mayer. Once again, excited for that fight though. Now, the fight after that I wanna talk about is going to be, I'm going man, woman, clearly it seems. I'm gonna talk about the undisputed lightweight champion, Devin Haney versus George Gambosa. I'm not really going to break this fight down too much because I don't see this fight changing too much. Here's the thing, man. When you do rematches and then you do like a back-to-back rematch so quick, personally, I only would sway another person's way than the previous result if there was a lot of time off and they probably, and you know, they had time to gather themselves, or they were winning and then they got caught. Like for instance, I'll go MMA. If Kamaru Usman versus, how am I drawing a blank? If Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards happened, like obviously how it happened, and then 2 months later they had a rematch, I'm picking Kamaru Usman, easy. Just because I seen the fight. I saw who's the better fighter, he got caught. It happens, but he got caught. Now it's different, completely different if it was, what is it? I mean, I have to think. Okay, if it was Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa, if that fight happened and they rematched 4 months later, I'm still picking Israel. He won the fight, he dominated the fight. I have no reason to have another opinion on it. This is the same exact results. Granted, Devin Haney didn't get the finish, but he dominated the fight. It was obvious who won. It's too close too soon. He didn't get that much better. So I don't see him closing the gap that much. Yes, you can change strategically, but Gambosa's also not a power puncher. So it's hard for me to say, oh, he's gonna close the distance and knock him out. It's not really gonna happen. Devin is fundamentally sound. He doesn't have the threat of the knockout power. So I do think Devin Haney is gonna win by unanimous decision. I mean, unfortunately, levels to this. And I hope we move on and we can get a Lomachenko tank or whoever the hell else is at 135 that we need to see. Because this 2-fight deal was not worth it, not for it. I wasn't for it at all. But yeah. Shout out to Devin Haney, of course. Now, I want to talk about the fight that I'm also probably looking forward to the most. And that is Claressa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. 2 undefeated beasts, 2 pound-for-pound beasts. Claressa is my #1 pound for pound. However, you have her 2, you have Katie Taylor 1. I get it, it's fine. However, Savannah Marshall, she should be in your top 10 too. Undefeated with knockout power, knocking out all these women. Really good head movement, and she's a natural boxer. It's very slow, but she's a natural boxer. Now, Claressa, quick, by far the quickest person in her division. Very good feet, probably has the best feet in her division. Probably, that's not probably, she has the best feet in the division. Has the best defense in her division. I mean, you have defense versus offense. However, when I say that, that's not to say Claressa doesn't have an offense of her own. She's very offensive minded as well. So it's a tale of it's a tale of 2 stories where you have the 6 feet Savannah Marshall, who is strong, who can knock out anybody. And then we have the slick boxer and Claressa Shields. And they also don't like each other. And also they have history. They fought before. They fought in amateurs. Savannah beat her. There's a lot to this story that makes this fight honestly the most must-see fight this weekend. In my opinion, by far. I cannot wait to see it just because there's so much drawing. There's so much potential when it comes to this fight. And here's the thing. Claressa has been hurt before. I've seen her get dropped. She got right back up and she went to work. However, I've seen her get dropped. Savannah hits hard. She likes combinations, but she just packs that one punch that can get you out the way. I always said this, however, when you go against the best of the best, it's very hard to knock out these guys consistently. There will be somebody that's gonna stand your punch. Tyson Fury was able to withstand Deontay Wilder's punch, and he's one of the hardest punchers ever. Muhammad Ali withstood George Foreman's punch. I mean, the list goes on. There's so many times. When you go against the best of the best, you will eventually find that person that can take that punch. Claressa has been hurt, but she's not been hurt consistently enough for her jaw to be anything of a shell. She's still super young. It's gonna be a very fun fight, and I can't wait to see it because a lot of people are sleeping on Claressa. People don't like Claressa, and I get it. When you're as cocky as confident as Claressa is, you're gonna breed a lot of haters, and they're gonna rightfully come. If she loses, she is rightfully gonna get ringed on all social medias. However, when you have that confidence in yourself, there's a reason why for most people. And for her, I get it. She hasn't been beaten in her professional fights. She's defended her belt every single time. She's fought some very tough opponents and still has come out victorious. So I cannot wait to watch this fight. How I see this fight going, I'm gonna go unanimous decision. Claressa Shields is going to win. I don't think that she's gonna be able to get the finish, and I think Savannah is not gonna be able to outbox Clarissa. Clarissa boxing skills is really out this world, and she is gonna give her a boxing lesson, in my opinion. Not to say she won't catch her with a lick or two, but I just don't see her knocking her out. Now, the fight that a lot of people will talk about the most this weekend will be, of course, Deontay freaking Wilder. Why? Because it's Deontay freaking Wilder, and most people's second best heavyweight in the world, and one of the most devastating punchers we've ever seen. And he's going to fight Robert Helenius, who is honestly a rebound fight that he should win. Now, here's the thing. Robert is a chinny guy. It's not to say he gets knocked out by everybody, but he's been knocked out 3 times already. And now you're fighting a person like Deontay Wilder, who literally can lose like 30 minutes of a fight and he'll just knock you out just because. This is, and this is to be fair, like Robert's a big fighter, he's 6'6", so he's pretty much the same height as, he's pretty much the same height, pretty much just as long as Deontay Wilder. He's more technical than Deontay Wilder. However, he's not gonna be able to withstand that punch, man. And I've seen the way he fights. He likes, I ain't gonna say the brawl, but he likes to mix it up. You don't wanna mix it up with a guy that punches 10 times harder. You may pack power, but you don't pack that generational, it don't matter what era, what I'm hitting you with, I have 20-ounce glove, you still going to sleep. And that is what Deontay Wilder has. So I will say Deontay Wilder is gonna knock this man out into oblivion fairly early, in my opinion. I think it's gonna be a 3rd round KO. And then we're gonna talk about, is he gonna fight Usyk? Is he gonna fight Anthony Joshua? Who else? Andy Ruiz? It don't matter, but he needs to fight somebody else that's up to his caliber and that could possibly withstand that punch, because I've said this several times. There's literally been no human being that he's ever fought that has not touched the canvas. Not a single person. That is ridiculous. So, as always, man, thank you guys for watching, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And let me know what y'all think, man. But as always, man, be blessed.